Hey y'all, Captain JGB84. Hope this is recording well. Anyways, Whiplash is great. Another one of them Oscar films that I had to get around to. The other is Selma, which I'll probably be watching soon. Anyways, Whiplash is whoa, this really intense shit, really. So it centers on these two characters, really. A drummer, played by Miles Teller, named Andrew. He's just like a college student. He just wants to be, he just wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. And his drumming teacher, Terrence Fletcher, played menacingly by J.K. Simmons. And what it is, he gets accepted into Fletcher's class. Fletcher is like this balls to the wall, insane like teacher. Like he's basically just a big bully. Like he just demands like beyond perfection, really, pushing students just to their absolute extreme in hopes that the hopes that the next like Charlie Parker will be in his class or something. I don't know too much about jazz music really, or like the famous jazz artists or whatever, but I did a bit of research on Charlie Parker, and well, yeah, the story in the film they tell is true. Some guy threw a cymbal at his head during a practice session, and since that day, Charlie Parker just did better. And he's saying that his sort of methodology is that, hey, if I can just do that, then maybe one person here will have maybe be the next Charlie Parker. Has it happened? No, and who knows how long he's been teaching like that for. So yeah, but you really get into like Andrew's head, really. Like he just really he'll do anything just to be the best, to the point where it's like, I'm not going to talk to my dad. I'm going to break up with my girlfriend. I'm going to just avoid my other classes. What is it with most college and university films, or that a film is set during that time where apparently they have no other classes except like the one or the two? I don't know. Um, and just like he just dedicates his life really to it, and it's almost sickening really to see, because at one point I'm just like, well, who am I supposed to like feel for? I mean, like Fletcher is the definition of just asshole. Like really, just half the shit this guy says, you're like, Jesus, can you say that stuff? um, from what I understand, the director, whose name I know I cannot pronounce, he said this is partly based on his own kind of life experience, which raises the question, why is this in the adapted screenplay category at the Oscars? I don't fucking know. Um, but yeah, some of the most intense drumming I've ever seen. It almost feels a bit like a David Fincher film in a way, just like the way it's all lit and everything, how everything's mostly like shot indoors. Because this is just me. I notice a lot of David Fincher films. The setting is always inside somewhere. You rarely get like outside locations. Everything's for the most part shot in this like it mostly takes place in like a in yeah where the band practices, and just wow, how does drumming, like really, he drums so hard, Andrew, that his hands bleed. I sit there going, how does that happen? Is it like the drumsticks rub on him so much that they just like and like crazy bleeding? Like he just like picked up like a thing of like he crushed a glass thing in his hand, and just blood splatting everywhere. Um, but yeah, it's just man, like J.K. Simmons, holy shit! Like I like J.K. Simmons, I think he's a great actor, but wow, that performance, just balls to the walls, like insane, really. Um, and this is like I don't know, I'm kind of rambling all over the place, but it's this weird, like just it's almost like a psychological thriller, really, in a sense. Just it's like someone's gonna like flip out or something. Um, but this take this the one point that I have to mention, that and take this what with as you will, as a criticism or whatever. The only thing I was kind of missing was like Fletcher. Like you don't really you hear at one point what his motivation was. Like he keeps mentioning the story about Charlie Parker and how a cymbal was thrown at his head. But that's really it. Like I've kept wondering, like what's his whole motivation for doing this day in day out? Like because at one point you see him like he plays the piano and he plays it good, but like I sat there going like did he like force himself to play it that good? I don't know. It's like, is he a good like musician himself? I don't know. Um, but I guess that's sort of like, take that as you will. I think I just wanted a little more just motivation behind Fletcher. I guess you see the motivations behind Andrew. Like, he just wants to be the best, like no one ever was. He wants to be one of the greats. Um, he just wants to be one of the greats, and really, and I don't know if sacrificing everything is the way to do so, but hey, what do I know? Um, uh, but yeah, some just like, man, I knew drum. I knew, like, I've seen. I've never been to concerts or anything before, but I have a few friends that are drummers, and I've seen them like practice, and yeah, it's intense stuff, but nowhere near as it was in this film. So there's that. Um, but yeah, that's all I really have to say about Whiplash. I think it's great. Best film of the year? I don't know. I definitely my top five, sure. For me, it's still How to Train Your Dragon 2. But I think this is still great. Just incredible performances, particularly J.K. Simmons. Um, at times, it seemed like the focus was a little too much on him. Like, yeah, I get he's one of the main characters, but he's still very much in the supporting role. And the film is very much about Andrew and just like how drumming has this just effect on him. So I don't know. It's just how I see it. But yeah, this is like a thriller, really, not some drama film. And yeah, um, that's all I really have to say. Great performances all around, and nice, intense, and just, oh yeah, quite like just a work of art. The editing is on this film. That alone is just like, wow. That is definitely winning an Oscar for editing, that's for sure. And J.K. Simmons, I think he'll probably win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, who else would? But yeah, Miles Teller was great. Not much else I have to say. I think it's good. I think it's great. I think some have called this the best film of the year. I think Jeremy Jahns did, and okay, I can see why. This is definitely my top five, that's for sure. But that's all I have to say. So, what do you guys think of Whiplash? And yeah, it gets a nice 9 out of 10. So, see you later.